is going on, everyone? Happy Monday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts, and today, like every single weekday and now on Sundays, we're coming at you live from our studio in Las Vegas, Nevada with our daily live show. We have an absolutely monstrous show for you today. We're talking SEC again, Binance in the crossfire of the US, of the SEC. Paxos has stopped minting and issuing BUSD token. What does that mean for BUSD? What does that mean for Binance? We also have Gareth the God Soloway joining us here in about 25 minutes. We're going to take a look at something Bitcoin has never done. A death cross on the weekly chart. What does that mean? What price targets are we looking at? We'll ask our friend Gareth. And we have so much to talk about today that I just want to get right into it. But first, I have to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, boring, and stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. Bitcoin, 21.6. Got over 22. CPI numbers come out tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
You juiced?
Tomorrow's going to be a big show, too. Tomorrow we got two guests. We got our friend Magic and Crypto Blood joining us. What are the markets? How are they going to react to CPI? We'll talk about that, but that's for tomorrow's show. Today's show is going to be fire. You know, you ever take a really cold
shower?
Like ice bath or, you know, you just like, it's kind of jolts your senses, right? It's ready. Well, how do you think this guy felt? How do you think this man felt right here? So I'm assuming this is somewhere
trending.
This is somewhere in Scandinavia. And this dude just looks like someone you do not want to mess. Literally looks, I mean, first of all, are those can't be real axes, right?
I mean, it's not plastic.
Dude's a beast.
Dude's not jumping. Okay, how about this?
Bro.
Dude ain't jumping off a cliff with a plastic X. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna go all in on this jump thing,
but think about what kind of precision it takes to not like hit the outer edges of that pool there. Dude's crazy.
That's the last of his thought. This guy is screaming like crazy.
Bro, that is not someone I want to mess with. You know, when I talk about ice baths, I don't think about jumping into frozen lakes. Also, so, you know, the whole profile pics and NFTs, you know, we got them on Twitter. Well, this is what it would look like in real life if our profile pics were actual people. And so, yeah, we have...
What is
this? Okay, where on the dark web did you find this? I'm just curious.
The Twitter dark web. Yeah, so, you know, I feel like people...
I like the actors. They're very talented.
Yeah. I feel like when you get to a point where you have so much money, you find that like the weirdest things to spend money on and you have to like stand out somehow or you get bored and I don't know, man. But yeah, Talk said clown world. I didn't see any clowns in there, but all jokes aside, I know what you mean. And then, of course, we have to show a segment from our favorite Vice President Kamala Harris. And so look how like if only our politicians and our president and our vice president and our Securities and Exchange chairman were this excited about making sure investors and the USA public is protected as Kamala Harris is about apparently cars and buses. Hear what she has to say.
Diesel smell. The bus has Wi-Fi.
We're going to rewind here.
No exhaust. No diesel smell. The bus has Wi-Fi. And even USB outlets next to every seat. Yes. I mean, come on, imagine. You can charge your phone on your way home from work. That's good stuff.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
As useful as the smart screen on your refrigerator, right?
That's some good stuff, man. Like, man,
So you can charge your phone your way to work, so your boss, when he calls, it doesn't find.
This is what our politicians are excited about.
Why?
This is what our politicians are excited about.
Like,
you know, you got UFOs over Canada.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what.
You got a war across the ocean to go with NATO, neighboring NATO countries. You got the end of a pandemic, and you know what? You know what we're excited about? hit the like button for the USB charging station on your new bus. Yeah, how excited are you that?
Well, our likes
I am juiced.
Our likes just went down, actually. Guys, if you're new here, please say hello.
Hola.
Go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We do got a few new people in the chat. We got Blockchain Billionaire Club, Mario D, and also Crypto Face is in the chat as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Can you share your Crypto Face story real quick?
Oh man, that was a good one. Yeah, so it was the first BitBoy meetup like 3 years ago, I think it was, over there at the Venetian, and I was sitting at the bar and sitting next to Crypto Face. I don't know who dude was, and by the way, he had no mask on, so I know what the dude's actual face looks like, just so you know. But anyways, we're over there, you know, playing a little Keno in the machine or whatever it was, or video poker. And dude got up, was like, I'm going to the bathroom, he left like a couple $100 in the machine. Was like, I'll be back. Never came back. And I was just sitting there the whole time. I'm like, man, this dude left a couple $100, you know. And you know, this is before anyways, still a couple $100. That's a lot of money to me.
So if he comes out to Vegas, are you
and
gonna
so
give
anyways,
him-
I pocketed that, bro. But I waited a good hour and a half before I cashed out.
are you willing to commit to returning that money when Crypto Face comes
Yes.
back?
Yes.
All right, you heard it here first.
You got a $150 voucher from Sin City Crypto. So
That's right.
You want to buy something
And
at
a
our
round of
merch
drinks.
store,
and we'll buy you a round of drinks.
if you want to buy something at our merch store, we'll send you $150.
All right. I want to talk about the power of community. Okay. So when we started this channel, when we sat down and we were like, all right, this is our vision. The number one at the list is to create a badass community, to be tight knit with our community, to always keep them engaged, to be engaged with you guys. And so I decided, and so do you remember, Robin, just a few days ago, how many Twitter followers we had?
We were at like 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
Well, we've doubled to 4123. And it's all because of one person. And so I want to give a huge shout out to their Twitter handle is Crypto Equipment, but drop the mint. And so I woke up to this. I woke up to like 700 notifications on Twitter. I was like, what the hell is going on? I look, we're at like 3,500 followers. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This man right here put out this tweet, did a giveaway, a 0.1 ETH giveaway. And he said, follow Sin City Crypto, show my support to a channel that I always have on in the background. This thing got 1,700 retweets. We doubled our follower count. And so I DM'd him. I was like, hey, man, like, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And he said, I've been thinking about doing something for you guys. Figured instead of giving you the 0.1 ETH, I'll get you guys some exposure. So to you, my friend, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And just to our community in general, we love you guys. We support you. And thank you guys for supporting us. Speaking of supporting us, someone was who was it? Fino was a member, channel member
Fino.
for 4 months, 5 months. So big shout out to all of our members. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. We appreciate you as always. And although Robin might not love you, I love you. But I do have a bone to pick with some community members. What? You never say I love you to anyone. You don't love anyone, you said. You literally said that.
I'm choosy on who I love.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like it's
You know, although a majority of our community members, I love you, I do have a bone to pick with a few of you. So Robin tweeted this. Are you team Big Rob or David? Who's your fave? And, you know, there's some good comments in here. Some people are like, oh, I can't pick. I pick Rocco, both of you. And then this dude, Crypto JMP. Big Rob seems like the guy you hang out with, probably getting in some kind of trouble.
That's right.
David seems like the guy that has to have a lukewarm glass of milk on his bedstand to help him get to sleep by no later than 8:30. I'm going with Big Rob, to which I said, wow. Wow. So Crypto JMP, that was actually pretty funny.
Hey.
But that's messed up, bro.
I don't think it's messed up because he didn't know you were vegan.
I'm not vegan.
It's not regular milk. It's almond milk on the nightstand.
Terrible. Terrible. And so yeah, that was pretty interesting. So to everyone except Crypto JMP, I love you guys. And then there was one more thing. Oh, and then this tweet from Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, what is going on with you? Did you first I thought he got hacked, right? He tweets out, you may lose your wife, you may lose your dog, your mother may hate you. None of those things matter. What matters is that you achieve success and become free. Then you can do whatever you like. I don't know. I thought he got hacked.
I talked about this yesterday on the Sunday live stream. And, you could make an argument that, you might know better than your family members. You might, like my mom and dad, they're, my dad, 20 years in the military, God bless him, man, served his country, had off respect more than I've done in my life for sure. And, but I do know that, my family's working class, it's about hard work and earning a salary and, median wage. And I wanna personally succeed to a business level, run my own business, which we have the Sin City Crypto Studio, and also I have some grandeur here. So I don't expect my parents to agree with everything I do, or my wife or whoever. But the fact that you don't have your dog on your side, your dog, all he wants is attention and love, man. If your dog don't like you, something is wrong with you, man. Like, that's all I'm saying. If your dog does not like you, it doesn't matter what financial decisions you have. All you gotta do is pet your dog and take him for a walk. Like if your dog is growling at you when you get home, you done messed up, bro. Something wrong with your morals. I'll just leave it at that, man.
Yeah, what's the point of success if you have no one to share it with, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? We will have our family and our community to share with.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just got the best interest for your family, even though it might not seem that way. You sometimes, people in your corner might be like, man, you're making some really risky decisions. I don't know about this. But at the end of the day, you're like, but this is gonna be good for us. I believe in myself. I believe in my goal and my vision. So believe that, But yeah, if the dog ain't with you,
yeah, if you can't get your dog on your side.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I want to pivot this conversation. And guys, people are asking, Gareth will be joining us in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned. Let's talk about vending machines, okay? So we got good vending machines, and then we got some not so good vending machines. So this is a good vending machine. So this was, and let me read it here. So this is a Bitcoin vending machine spotted in Germany. This is pretty cool. And so you go in there, you select what item you'd like, and then you just, right there, bam, scan the QR code. And that's it. You pay, comes out of your account. The intermediary will convert it to whatever currency that this vending machine wants. And just like that, you get your item. That was fast and painless. What's not painless is and this is not funny, but this is what Nigerians are doing to bank ATMs after the government limited their cash access to force CBDC. And so this is kind of what they're doing to the ATMs down there in Nigeria. They're tearing them apart. They're breaking them. And, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You work so hard, right? And you got a government coming in trying to superimpose their CBDC. And they're telling you how much money you can have, how much money you can keep. And so, this is the only way, and I know it sucks, is the only way to get the government's attention, to get the politicians' attention, is you make them pay attention. Because if we just let them do whatever they want, they will continue with no opposition, and eventually they'll get to where they want to get to. All right, I want to share this. So I like this guy up until this video, and so I just want you guys to understand, this is what people outside of the crypto space, this is the stuff it's
the guy from Harold and Kumar, right?
Yes, this is the information they digest.
I haven't seen this.
These are the people they get information from. And listen to this. This is about a minute and a half long.
So what makes cryptocurrency such an energy hog? Well, it comes down to 3 words: proof of work. Traditional old school money is created by a central institution that validates it and distributes it. But cryptocurrency relies on a network of computers to do this, called miners. These miners create new money and then verify transactions with the proof of work system. It's essentially a lottery that miners enter by attempting to solve a very complicated calculation. The calculation itself is completely pointless, like high school geometry. But it proves that you've made a computational effort to mine that Bitcoin. That's the proof of the work of these transactions. And whichever miner wins the lottery wins Bitcoin. I mean, that's why they play. Unfortunately, no matter who wins, the climate loses. Because those miners aren't actually cute little cartoon workers with hard hats, although that would be awesome. They're giant containers full of thousands and thousands of purpose-built computers using massive amounts of electricity. Emissions from Bitcoin alone are estimated to be comparable to Austria. So if crypto is here to stay, the question becomes, what do we do about its massive carbon footprint? Well, one option is to replace the proof of work system with a different system called proof of stake. Instead of miners doing calculations to enter the lottery, miners simply pay to enter. This uses way less energy. By some estimates, 99.9% less. Ether, the world's #2 cryptocurrency after Bitcoin, switched over to this method last year in a major upgrade known as the merge. Sorry, I tried to make that sound epic, but still pretty nerdy. Bitcoin has no plans to switch to proof of stake, but miners can still reduce their footprint if they switch to renewable energy.
They're already using renewable energy. That's what I'm saying, man.
You know what irritates me on that is that he says, and I know he's trying to be comical, but it's kind of like the point.
Lottery?
No, is that he said that is irrelevant as or unnecessary or unwanted as high school geometry. How do you think how do you think these buildings get built? How do you think infrastructure gets built? Geometry is literally the cornerstone or the foundation of architecture, of modern civilization. So you at your building, whatever structure you're inside of right now, or even your car, wherever it is, that was built off of the premise of geometry. Geometry might not be sexy, but you know what? It is a fundamental part of our society. It's what we use to build and scale. And it's a great analogy, actually. You know, he's trying to be funny, but it's a great analogy. And the fact that you look at Bitcoin and you say, hey, the proof of work, it has a cost. Yes, it has a cost, it has energy. But that energy has a purpose. It builds the infrastructure, which is the cryptocurrency network, the Bitcoin, and what it runs. And that's why it's so secure. Now, is it perfect? No. Should there be implementations in the future, some BIP proposal perhaps, that could address some of the energy concerns? Because right now, essentially, it is a war of, an arms race of who can get more hash rate, and maybe that model isn't ideal at the moment. But I think at some point that the miners will adjust so that way they can work with less energy to achieve the same thing, or maybe they don't. I don't know. But either way, it's small in comparison to the corporate level banking system that we have that validates the transactions. When you swipe your credit card, when you send a transaction, when you go to pay your mortgage, whatever it is, when you see that on your bank statement, when it says processing, that is validators. That means your transaction has went overseas to an intermediary, to another bank, from another bank, 3 different banks, some other system. These are all corporate levels and networks and servers that are processing that transaction. It just takes 3 to 5 days, right?
If you're lucky.
Yeah. And so that right there is not, the thing is you can't measure that energy because there's so many different people that have their hands in it, and they're not plugged into a network that can easily be read as far as energy
And
used.
the thing is, like, we could use renewables. They are using renewables. That's what I'm saying, bro. They don't ever talk about the good of Bitcoin mining.
At the same time, his video did address, proof of stake, and there is room for proof of stake. But I would just be easy to quickly bash the whole global warming narrative from Bitcoin miners. It's absurd. Nobody has built a power station for Bitcoin. Okay? Nobody's built a coal mine for Bitcoin. What they've done is they plugged into networks that already had excess energy and they used it. Energy that a lot of the times dissipates naturally, that goes away, that goes unused, that goes unsold. Imagine if you produced $1 million worth of energy, and because nobody plugged enough stuff into the wall, never got used, and it disappeared. Electricity is not constant. It evaporates. I don't know the exact term, but it goes away over time. Yeah, whatever the term it is. But you get energy loss. I think it's almost up to 50% of energy consumed globally goes away, does not get used and ends up
Look about the oil.
going
Look at
to
the
waste.
oil refineries, right? 10%.
Yeah, and
just goes into the atmosphere.
so you have a business model that is using untapped energy. It's equivalent to throwing stuff in the recycle bin. You can either throw it in the trash can, or you could throw it in the recycle bin. Either way, you're discarding it. It's going away anyways. It's not like you're purchasing plastic on the sole purpose of putting it in the recycle bin. You were already going to get rid of it anyways. Why not repurpose it and use it for something better? That's what recycling is. And in the energy sector, if you have excess energy and it's going to go to waste anyways, why don't you repurpose it and use it for something?
Speaking of using it for something, the Bitcoin NFT, the Ordinals thing, has been a hot topic. And so before we bring Gareth on, our man Forrest, his Fast Five this week, is focused on Bitcoin Ordinals and what that means for the network. And so let's go ahead and play.
All right, so Bitcoin Ordinals, or Bitcoin NFTs essentially, are rising in popularity, but it's going to have some impacts on the Bitcoin network and potentially some impacts on Bitcoin's price. So let's explore that a little bit. So Bitcoin Ordinals are essentially a way, after the Taproot upgrade went live in late 2021, of creating NFTs on Bitcoin. Essentially, you're able to identify a single Satoshi on the Bitcoin network and inscribe it with with data such as images or videos, creating an NFT on Bitcoin. Now, interestingly, the transactions per block have skyrocketed in February 2023, surpassing an average of 225 transactions per block by February 5th. That's just Ordinals transactions, right? So how much block space is there with Bitcoin? Well, the average transactions per block, which occur every 10 minutes on Bitcoin, is between 1,600 and 2,000. So over 10% of block space right now is being taken up by Ordinals transactions. Now, some people argue that higher fees could be good for Bitcoin in the long term, giving miners a more sustainable source of fee revenue as the network produces less new Bitcoin over time. This is something that I would tend to agree with. This is an issue with Bitcoin that I've brought up many times, where as Bitcoin produces lower emissions, and can pay miners less money over time, security drops. So this could prop up Bitcoin mining and hash rate and the incentive to mine Bitcoin here in the short term. So I think that this is potentially good for the security of the network. Now, some worries are that this could bloat the network, with new file types finding a way into Bitcoin. Many Bitcoin developers are worried Ordinals may have unintended consequences. One of their chief worries surrounds blockchain bloat, filling up block space that could otherwise be used for purely financial transactions, thus making the network slower and more expensive for standard users. My take on this is it was already slow and expensive for financial transactions. Bitcoin as a network, in my opinion, is just not a really good payments network, right? You're sitting around waiting 10 minutes for a transaction, paying $3 to $5 higher now with the Ordinals. I just don't think that it was the network that was going to take over the world for payments, right? You can make arguments about the Lightning Network. That's a different discussion. I think that Ordinals and NFTs on Bitcoin are probably a net benefit over time for Bitcoin because they're subsidizing the miners and the hash rate and the security of the network with more fees and more demand for that block space. All right. So I wanted to include this chart here. It's somewhat corollary, but this is Bitcoin's hash rate per Bitcoin market cap, or in other words, it's the security per dollar in Bitcoin market cap, right? And you can see I have the easy bands applied to it. And then down here, this is just really simply Bitcoin's price, right? And what we actually see is historically a pretty decent indicator of Bitcoin tops are when this security per dollar in Bitcoin market cap drops and becomes overextended to the bottom. That is usually a signal, right, of a top. And likewise, a signal of a bottom is usually a peak in this security when Bitcoin price is really low, but you still have like decent hash rate, and overall the network, is very secure. And when we start to move off of the red easy band zone, right, when we start to move off of this and start to move sideways, you see usually a regime change, right? From bull market to bear market. And currently where we're at is we're starting to move sideways off of this, which could be signaling that a bottom has potentially come in. Now, what's interesting here is this Ordinals thing could really throw off this chart a little bit. Why? Because this could subsidize hash rate to go up without actually increasing the price of Bitcoin. Why do I say this may not increase the price of Bitcoin? Well, you may have people buying Bitcoin to buy NFTs. That we saw a lot of demand come in for Ethereum, people buying Ethereum to buy Ethereum-based NFTs. That creates demand for Bitcoin, that creates demand for Ethereum. But in the case of Bitcoin, this is also increasing the amount of fees generated by miners. And we know that miners are kind of in a hole right now. And miners are going to have to turn around and sell a lot of those fees that they're earning in Bitcoin to cover costs from mining, right, throughout this bear market where it's not been extraordinarily profitable. So it's difficult to say whether this is going to be a net positive or a net negative for Bitcoin's price, because there are demand vectors, there are supply vectors that may incentivize selling, may incentivize buying. Maybe it's a wash, maybe it's offset. Maybe we see demand for Bitcoin and Bitcoin price rise. But I would argue that this is actually good for hash rate or good for the security of the network, pushing up the security of the network, which we see there's some sort of a correlation here with higher security and lower Bitcoin price. However, this is kind of an unprecedented situation. We haven't seen this in the past. This could just simply push up Bitcoin hash rate per dollar in Bitcoin market cap, and that may not actually affect the price of Bitcoin. So it gets a little bit complex here, but I hope this video was helpful. If so, make sure you like and subscribe to Sin City Crypto. Peace.
Awesome. That's very interesting. So one thing I do want to mention is the blocks that are mined, they're not always full. They're not always the 4 megabytes, right? They have 4 megabytes of room, but they're not filled to the top. And so what some people are saying, the people that are saying this is good for the Bitcoin network, are saying you're maximizing revenue for miners, thus enticing more to come, maybe decentralizing it a little bit more. And obviously on the flip side, people are saying, no, it bogs down a network. It makes it much slower. And so where do you guys land, the community? Where do you guys land on Bitcoin NFTs? Should Bitcoin be used for more than just sending money back and forth? Or should it be just, hey, it was meant to be peer-to-peer. It was meant to transact finance, and that's all it needs. It doesn't need NFTs. It doesn't need more use cases. And one thing I want to note as well, in the year 2140, so in about 120 years, there will be no more Bitcoin to be mined. So the block rewards are going to contain nothing. And so what's going to incentivize the miners to stay plugged in and secure the network? When you have other use cases, transaction fees go up, and now they make their money on transaction fees. What are your thoughts? And I thought that chart was pretty interesting. How the security dollar average kind of shows where we bottom or the top, and that's one of the reasons why I love Forrest, because he takes different viewpoints and looks outside the box. But what do you think about everything Forrest kind of mentioned in that video?
It's interesting that he's saying that the hash rate will go up because historically hash rate goes up, price goes up. Generally, we did see a little break of that correlation during the bear market, or when we started going into the bear market, where the hash rate stayed high, but the price was dropping. But they do tend to level out or balance, or at least historically they have. So I don't know if I think if there's more people scooping up Bitcoin to facilitate transactions in the Bitcoin network for NFTs, you're buying supply, you're taking Bitcoin off of the order books, which in turn would raise the price. So even though I see what he's saying, but I still think if more people are buying NFTs, more people using Bitcoin, just like in Ethereum, when the NFT craze was popping off, Ethereum's price rallied hard. And so I think it's nothing but a net positive. If you're concerned about price action, that's my own personal opinion. when it comes to NFTs. Now, whether or not it's good for the network to have a ton of new users just simply trading NFTs, that's a different discussion. I do want to give a little shout out to some of the new people we got here in the chat. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got Nikki P, CryptoCon, G4 Live, Ham Flavored Popcorn, Alex Crypto, Mitchell, Bit Squad, Mike, Ida Dory, and to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City
flavored
Crypto.
popcorn.
Yes, sir.
What are these things?
So,
All right. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and bring the man, the myth, the legend, Gareth, the God Soloway. That's gotta be the coolest. That's gotta be the coolest nickname, bro.
That is an awesome intro. Thank you, man. That is amazing. Unwarranted, but amazing. Thank you.
Nah, you deserve it, my friend. Who gave you? Was it Crypto Face that gave you that nickname?
Yeah, Crypto Face. Yeah.
I love it. Maybe we can have you and Crypto Face on the show together. Crypto Face was in the chat earlier. We're gonna get him on the show. Maybe we can get both of you on. That'll be fun.
That would
Gareth,
be fun.
That would. I want to, before we get into the charts, we value more than just your charts. We value your opinion. And so I want to get your opinion on the SEC suing Kraken and shutting down their staking rewards. What are your just general thoughts? What was your knee-jerk reaction? Charts aside, prices aside, what were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's more of a matter of like kind of understanding the underlying reason they did that. What's the reasoning? Are they trying to protect people, or are they saying, So for me, I don't know honestly enough about it versus to make that decision on whether it was a good or bad thing. Again, I think that the SEC has a tendency to overreach a little bit versus letting the natural market take its course. But at the same time, I don't know if they know about certain shady activities that were going on that maybe aren't okay. So yeah, it's a tough one. These type of situations, unless you really have the behind the scenes information, it's so hard to make that judgment.
Fair enough. And it's just interesting to me that they go over one of the most pat down by the law exchanges in Kraken. And so do you think, in your opinion, that we're not going to get a bull market, an actual bull market? We're not going to get new all-time highs unless this regulation cloud and Gary Gensler, unless that's all kind of settled, or at least Gary's out of office? Or do you think it's still possible?
Yeah, So I don't know if Gary Gensler needs to be out of office, but what I do know is that for this market to finally bottom, you need clarity, you need transparency, and you need basically the ability to understand what the rules are. And for a mom and pop buying a half or a quarter or a third of a Bitcoin, I don't think it matters that much. It's kind of like a long shot, like a lottery ticket. But we have to remember that as much as we don't want to have it be this way, institutional money, big money, the billions, the $1 trillion players, they're the ones that are going to push crypto in one direction or the other, right? So those players are not coming near this space with significant money. And it's not that they don't want to. I think that deep down, hedge fund managers, they want to be involved in crypto. They see lots of potential upside in crypto, but they can't do it legally, right? They have this fiduciary responsibility. And once FTX collapsed, they're in this position of saying, well, how can I don't want to get in trouble for putting money into crypto. And then the SEC comes out and says, hey, this is illegal, or this can't be done, AKA what they just did to Kraken, right? So I think that's the bigger issue. So I do agree that until this cloud is out of the way, people should expect Bitcoin and crypto overall to not have a major bull run.
Fair enough. And we're going to get into the charts here in a little bit. But I want to share a quick video. And I saved this for when our guest was on the show with us. But, we can all, and this isn't even putting on a tinfoil hat or conspiracy. We know, right? Some politicians are crooked. People collude together. And here is a firsthand example of how and why Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler hate our space and are working together to shut it down. And so, Rocco, can we pull up the laptop and watch this video? This is from Fox News. And look at this. Have you seen this video, Gareth or Robin?
I saw it.
I haven't.
Yeah. Now, listen to this.
All right, a bombshell report tonight about how Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. The Heritage Foundation Oversight Project, of which I'm associated, through a FOIA request, obtained emails from Warren's office to the office of Chairman Gary Gensler 2 days before his Senate testimony back in September of 2021. The email from Warren's economic policy advisor includes a list of questions. Get this, a list of questions that Senator Warren planned to ask, along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. The advisor also wrote, quote, "Let me know if you're okay with the questions as currently written." 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. And it appears the chairman didn't have any issue with these questions because Senator Warren asked almost verbatim from the email. Check this out.
Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market drops. Does this sound like the path to financial inclusion to you?
Answer. Look at that. You see that on the bottom of the highlighted? It says answer. You know, like, I want to laugh because I'm so upset and annoyed. Like, we literally pay these people out of our tax dollars that we pay. And the whole idea, the whole premise of a hearing is to answer questions. And you see the way Elizabeth Warren,
and
the way she
remember,
grills crypto.
You're supposed to be you're under oath, and you're supposed to it's supposed to be a Q&A to get resolution, not to push one person's narrative. So
what's your, like, I know you haven't seen this before, Gareth. What's your knee-jerk reaction?
I mean, disbelief, but not, like part of me is like, this is just so crazy. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but this is what these guys do, right? I mean, like, Are we any of us really that surprised? And this goes back to what crypto is, right? Crypto is a way for people to free themselves from the handcuffs of this governmental fiat currency BS and all that. So, I mean, in the very least, like, they can try to do what they want to it. I really don't think that they can destroy it at this point. They could try to regulate, but I think that for the most part, it's going to continue regardless.
Yeah. What about you, Rob? What were your thoughts? I know you've seen this before, but
it's just, here's the thing. I will say that the majority of people in Congress, that the lawmakers, I think that there's more people in favor of crypto. And I think that people that are negative are standing out, and they're getting the front page headlines. They're getting the media attention. But from what I've taken in from the years of doing this show is that there are more people that recognize crypto and its potential and its inevitability to be part of the financial markets. Now, whether or not you think it's going to replace everything, or if it just ends up being side and side and is another option, it's coming. And I think lawmakers see that, and I think most lawmakers are embracing it. Now, I think a lot of people are kind of being quiet as far as in the White House and in Congress because of the stain of the reputation that has recently happened through FTX and some of the other collapses. But I think so right now people are being a little bit more quiet, and other people are being a little bit more vocal. The vocal people are the negativity. So I still think that we're going the right direction. But haters are going to hate, and that's what I think we have.
Haters going to hate.
Isn't that the truth? Haters are going to hate, right? Yeah. I mean, and I think you're right on that, is that you have this scenario where right now crypto's gotten crushed. People have gotten hurt with FTX. Like, there's going to be more vocal naysayers, but I still think that a huge amount of politicians, when it comes down to it, recognize how many jobs are now reliant on blockchain technology. You have all these big companies like Microsoft getting into the mix here, and all this lobbyist money too from these companies. So I think when it comes back to it, that's what's going to rule the day. It's going to be jobs, right? Because how does a politician get reelected? It all comes back to, are they preserving jobs? Are they keeping jobs and helping sectors become bigger and bigger, especially in the U.S. Because, right, we don't need China, or we don't need other countries taking the advantage here. We've got to be on the leading edge of blockchain technology.
That's 100% true. All right, Gareth, I wanted to get into some charts here. So Bitcoin, and this is the theme of today's show, Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, has done something it's never done, a death cross on the weekly chart. I know we had gotten a golden cross, I believe, on the daily chart. What kind of weight do you put into these death cross, golden cross? And with the death cross on the weekly, what should we expect as far as price action moving forward?
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of death crosses or golden crosses overall in technical trading, right? The main reason is because they're so publicized by the media that, and it's kind of, you notice the coin, right? The death cross, da, 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 you know, or the golden cross. So it's really, it's more of a media thing. The only time I pay attention to death crosses or golden crosses is when price is coming into that cross at the exact time it's crossing. So I don't know if you guys can show my chart here, but actually, I can show my chart. Funny thing, but but basically, like, all right. So let's imagine here's a death cross, right? So the death cross is right at this pivot point, right in the middle. The only time that it's important is when price is coming up to it. Then that's a no-brainer short where it's going to fall to the downside. So those type of situations I really pay attention to. But like you said, golden cross on the daily, a death cross on the weekly. How do you even figure that one out when there's multiple signals in both? The one thing I will tell you is that I haven't bought this rally, meaning I don't buy that all of a sudden we're in a new bull market yet in crypto, right? So the main issues I have is that while this was an absolutely remarkable rally up, in the scheme of things, if you zoom out on the chart, it's still a relatively small move, you know, and you could arguably say that this move here is the same size as this move here. I mean, it's not much different in dollar amount to the upside, nor is it this low to this high, right? So for me, it's nice to see, but it was coming off of the December kind of tax loss selling. So once December's over and people have sold for tax purposes to reduce what they owe the government, there's just naturally this void of sellers. So it allows for rallies to take place in the stock market, in the crypto space. And then again, you look at, we don't have transparency. We hear, you know, now Kraken's being targeted. We hear all these other things. And so at this point, I'm not ready to buy the whole narrative of, you know, we're now in a new bull market and here we go. I want to see more proof of it before I put myself behind that.
And what does that proof look like? Is it a price target? Is it, you know, sentiment? Is it news? Well, what does that look like? What does that mean?
Yeah, so one of the interesting things that you bring up is sentiment, right? And sentiment is so important. And what I didn't like about this rally is that we literally, what did we go up 35% off the lows? You had the same bullish sentiment in the market that we had it when we were at 65,000. And that people jumped on the bull bandwagon far too fast. If you go back to 2001 after the dot-com collapse, 2009, the first move in any beginning of a bull market that occurs, most people are scared. It's shitless. I don't know if I can say that on this program, but hopefully I can. All right. So they're scared shitless about that first move. It's too scary. They think, oh my goodness, this has to be a fake out. In this situation with crypto, everyone was like, new bull market. You know, here we go. Here it goes back to all-time highs. That's a dead indicator. It's not a new bull market, right? People haven't been, you know, gone through the despair and the kind of the giving up phase of a bear market. So that coupled with the fact that we now need to establish ourselves and actually make higher highs, that would be something that would get my attention.
And we have not made higher highs on that. I believe that daily chart we showed, we're still making lower highs than, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking back at the chart again here, we can see that we did take out. So the one positive here, and this is what's interesting, right? So this area here, and let me just draw some rectangles here. So this area right here, that was where FTX collapse began. Here, notice how when we came back to that, it was resistance. It was tough for the markets to break through, but eventually it did. Look at where we find ourselves back to, right at that same level. So this is an important level for Bitcoin. If there's one level you're following that could tell us there's a bull market here, if this level holds and we can go take out the high right here from which was around 24,300, that would be a positive. If this yellow line breaks and price starts trading below, you're honestly probably headed back to sub 20,000 on Bitcoin. So this level, again, we'll call it like 21,400. Watch to see if that level holds for the next week or so. If it doesn't hold and we break, be very careful.
You've said that your bottom is around I think you've said 12K and then 10 to 14K. Are you still in that camp, or do you think the bottom is in?
No, I actually am still in the camp that we still have some further downside to go. Yeah, definitely in that camp. Again, just because I haven't seen the flush out, and one of the biggest concerns I have about the crypto market is not that we're not going to get regulation and transparency. It's actually my worry about the overall economy and then the impact on the stock market. So what I'm seeing coming in the future is that we're going to slip into a recession, right? Probably second half of 2023, we go into a recession. The markets are going to turn to the Federal Reserve and say, okay, could you print us out of this recession like you've done every down move in the economy over the last 15, 16 years? And the Fed is going to say, guys, we would love to, but the problem is inflation's still, let's say, 3% or 3.5%. So we can't. Now the market's faced with what I would say is like this long, drawn-out recession period where earnings are going down. And you might say, well, what the heck do earnings have to do with crypto? Well, the problem is if investors start to dump stocks, and we say, let's say we see another 25% down move in the S&P, now figure out how crypto holds up in face of that, right? So if we see a mass exodus of risk assets, it's hard to imagine crypto doesn't get caught in that wave.
Okay. So I'm glad you brought up some reference on the global markets and the global economy. What is the index funds, the U.S. markets, S&P 500, Nasdaq? What is kind of your general vibe? I know today we have a green day in the stock market. I think Nasdaq was over 1.5% earlier. Also, we had the CPI data coming out tomorrow. Which there are rumors that this is going to come in not as favorable as some people are hoping. The supply chain prices are up as far as warehouses. And so there's a lot of indicators saying that we might not get as favorable a number on CPI. And you're referencing a pullback on the general on the global markets. What are the charts telling you on, say, some of the traditional finance?
Yeah, so that's a great point you're bringing up, is that the dollar, which is really instrumental in what the market does. And notice today, the daily chart of the dollar, we have a red candle today, and so the markets are up. The stock market goes up. Basically, what you'll notice is there's an inverse relationship with the dollar. So when the dollar goes up, markets fall. When the dollar falls, the markets go up. Well, this pattern formation, this 3-bar move up, with this sideways chop is known as a bullish consolidation pattern. So this pattern, the probabilities of this pattern playing out would be to the upside. So what that tells us, if we extrapolate that out, and we know that when the dollar goes up, the market sells, if we do get a pop in the dollar, you would assume that we would see an asset sell-off tomorrow on the CPI. So that's correct, yeah. So the dollar at least is confirming what you're mentioning about maybe we see a not-so-great CPI number tomorrow.
Now, we know gaps, there's, it's harder in crypto, but when you look at the, the S&P 500 and traditional stocks, gaps tend to fill, right? Whether that's to the upside or downside. Been a lot of talk about the CME gap. Has that filled? Do you think it will fill? What does that look like?
Yeah, so let me look at that. So you're looking at like the CME, the Bitcoin. And I can actually bring it up here on the
CME Bitcoin, and then either the Nasdaq or the Dow. Yeah.
Yeah. So right here you have, this is the BITO, which trades off the CME, and you get a huge gap down here. So yeah, I mean, that it is kind of a weird thing, because when you deal with crypto, you don't have any downtime, meaning that gaps don't form on Bitcoin really. But at the same time, we know that they're very powerful in technical analysis in regular stocks and in commodities somewhat. So I would generally say that until proven otherwise, you would look for that fill of that gap, which would bring Bitcoin down about 10%. That would be about a 10% drop in Bitcoin, which, by the way, if we go back to the Bitcoin chart here, what's interesting is that if we did break that, right, if we break this level, which was what that would have to happen, then your next technical support on Bitcoin would be right back in this range. And what we can see here, right, is that you have the middle point of this little bounce here and the lows right here, which would be about a 10%, little over a 10% decline. So yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And you're right. When you go to the S&P 500, you're absolutely right. Gaps, I always say gaps are made to be filled. When you get close to a gap fill, there's almost this magnet effect that pulls towards it. And it's happened for generations, and it will continue to happen as long as the psychology of the market remains intact, which it will.
Awesome, man. What can we take a look at Ethereum? Ethereum has been deflationary since the merge. You have more ETH, coming out. You have the Shanghai upgrade coming in March, and so people are saying, "Oh my God, all this ETH is going to be unlocked. There's going to be a dump." What are some levels if I'm looking to accumulate Ethereum? What are some levels that I should be looking at? And of course, none of this is financial advice, but where are some good levels to possibly get in, or some good levels to possibly get out?
Yeah, so what I'm seeing here on the ETH chart is you're starting to break this upward channel. We broke that line right here, and then we're now breaking this little low right here. So there is a level where you would look for a technical bounce on ETH, and it's right down here, right? And what you can see here is that if you connect the lows right here, there's an upsloping trend line, and if you connect this area, there's a flat trend line. And one of my favorite things about this is that trend lines coincide. When you have trend lines that work together and they merge, it becomes an even greater support. So think about it like this. If you have a wood floor below you and you take a sledgehammer to it, at some point you're going to break through that wood floor. If you were to put a wood floor with a cement floor underneath, it's going to be really hard to sledgehammer through that thing. And so that's what the equivalent of two trend lines converging right here would be. So on a technical basis, if I saw a dump on ETH to around 1320, 1330, I'd be a buyer for a bounce there on that chart. Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead, Rob. I know you had a question.
And so I know we've discussed a few bearish scenarios. Now let's just say, we are in a bear market bounce at minimum. Some people are saying a bull market. I don't really subscribe to a bull market. I don't think it's the right time yet, especially with the 4-year cycle and the global situation. But let's just say that this rally continues and the CPI number comes out tomorrow and it's pretty favorable. What are some positive price actions? There's some areas that if you saw Bitcoin rallying, what are some numbers you're looking out for? It doesn't have to be strictly Bitcoin, or it could, if you want to keep on the ETH chart or go over to Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. But just in crypto in general, what are some price targets on the bullish side are you kind of keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, so there are some really important levels that if we did continue up, I would watch for. And the first thing I would pay attention to is the lows from 2021 right here, when we had that mega first surge and we came down and we kind of sideways right around 30,000. And then we had the second up wave and then we kind of came down here. And if we put a trend line right through these, I mean, look at how many of these lows it connects through all the way through. All right, so you have this area here, and then all of these right in here, and then all the way this sideways chop right there. So if we were to get above 30,000 and we were to hold above, and I just don't mean like, one day above doesn't matter to me. Can the price establish itself above, essentially start building support there? And if we were to get above 30,000, I think you have to start taking the possibility of a low in the chart at the 15 to 16,000 level seriously. So that would be my first major technical level to watch.
Okay. We do have a question from one of our community members. Crickcat said, question for Gareth the Goat. I deliver for UPS, so I can't stare at charts all day. How would you recommend me go about trading long-term trades, stop losses? What's your advice to someone like that?
Yeah, so I think a couple things. Number one, you definitely want to take a larger view. So you're not going to focus as much on the daily or intraday charts. You're going to be looking at more the weekly and the monthly. And the weekly and the monthly will tell you, when you're looking at the weekly chart, it's going to tell you, let's say, 3 to 6 to 10 weeks out. When you're looking at the monthly, it's going to tell you the next move coming over the next 6 to 12 months, for instance. So you're going to take a longer time frame view versus someone like me who's in and out within a day or intraday or within a couple days of my trades. And then the second thing is, one of the things I learned is the most important thing I ever learned is go into every trade assuming you're going to be wrong, right? And I know that sounds weird, but by doing that, you limit the amount of capital you expose on your first buy, and you give yourself ammunition to buy again if you're wrong or if it goes lower. So for instance, with Bitcoin, I love Bitcoin long term. So when I do buy into it for a longer term play, I'm going to say, all right, I'll buy 1/6 of my position here. Then if it goes another 3,000 lower, I'll do another. And just by changing your mentality, you become a better investor, because investors that believe they're going to be right on their first buy throw everything they have at that trade, and then they get wiped out. You always want to live to fight another day. That's how you actually accumulate wealth versus going broke on a all-in type situation.
That's some great advice, man. And there was someone in here that people aren't happy when you talk about stuff they don't want to hear, right? They don't want to hear it. They're not happy. They start calling you out. And so they said, does Gareth only trade crypto, or does he actually hold any? And I think we talked about this before. I believe you hold some Bitcoin.
Yeah,
you
hold
said,
Bitcoin.
Right?
Yeah. So I think, and I might have said this last time, but when it was in the 17,000 range, I started what I would refer to as my first hodl position, right? And so I said to myself, listen, I think it's going to 12 to 13, maybe 9. But if there's one thing I know, it's that I can be wrong at any time. And so I started a 1/6 position at 17 and change. And then I said, if it drops 3,000, I'll buy another 3,000, 2,000, whatever it is. And basically dollar cost average, doing exactly what I just told that gentleman to do as well. And so I do have a little bit. It's not a huge position, but at least I have that exposure. If it does take off, I can always unload that at a certain point or just ride it all the way up.
No, we have a lot of people. A lot of our community is behind XRP. We actually just did a video on XRP on Friday, and so it's a community favorite here. And before we even came into 2023, there's all this rumor mill that the settlement of XRP or resolution to the case would probably come in early 2023. A lot of people have thrown out February. So let's just say perhaps get a favorable outcome on XRP, or what are the charts telling you on when it comes to the XRP token?
Yeah. So charts, it's actually a really interesting chart, because what we have here is this what's called a wedge pattern. And wedge patterns basically are drawn when you connect the high recent lows. And when you have a wedge pattern, it's basically a triangle coming to a head. And it essentially tells you that price is getting tighter and tighter. It's almost like a spring being wound up. Now, the problem is we don't know which way it's going to go. Is it going to break out edge, or is it break to the downside? And that's really where the issue comes in, is where we know that this chart is going to come to a head, right? These two lines are going to meet, let's say, a month from now or whenever. And so what it tells us is probably you're right. There will be a judge's decision, and that's going to force price to either have a huge move up or a huge move down. Again, based on this, I have no idea which direction that's going to go. The only thing I can advise people is, like, anytime you would never want to put your whole cash in anything that it's reliant on one judge's decision, right? Because again, what if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed? I mean, there's just variables that I don't like doing. So again, to have a kind of a lottery ticket, if you will, I think that's fine. Put 5% of your account in it, or 2%, or whatever you feel comfortable with, but also going in with your eyes full wide open, right? If you love it, my thing is, I don't love anything I invest in. All right. And again, this is my policy, is like, anytime I invest in something, I'm using it to make my family and I money, and I will dump it the second it changes the chart on me. And I think one of the detriments that most investors have is they fall in love with these things. And always remember, don't love it if it's not going to love you back. And I'm telling you, XRP does not love anyone, right? And so you want to use it to your advantage. And then if it changes the chart, get rid of it. And by doing that, you free yourself. All of a sudden, you become a capitalist, if you will, and you're just in and out. You're in and out, and you're just taking advantage of so many opportunities versus falling in love. I mean, heck, there were people that fell in love with Tesla stock when it was trading at $400. Now it's at what, 200? 175. Elon Musk isn't sitting there saying, "Oh, Johnny over there, he loved me, so I'm going to make sure the stock stays as high as it can for him." No,
he's even selling it.
Hey, Gareth,
yeah, he's
man.
even dunking in hell.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, man. You need to open up that love a little bit, man. It's the one day of the year, okay?
Yeah,
So-
it says coming from the
All
guy
right,
who's,
I'll love XRP tomorrow, just tomorrow.
All right.
you know, Gareth,
You're
you
going to send the
mentioned,
Valentine's Day card to XRP.
you mentioned the judge might wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or the judge might wake up to an email from Elizabeth Warren saying, here's what you should say, and here's what I'm going to ask you.
It's possible.
Anything's possible. Gareth, if people want more Gareth Soloway, well, first, let me ask you real quick. I saw you put out a Twitter post. You were looking for, I believe, a co-host or something. What, like, is something brewing here? Like, what's going on here? You got something?
Is there an
exciting coming up?
application? Can I fill it out? What's going on?
You don't meet the qualifications.
Yeah, you can always fill it out for sure. Yeah, we're just kind of launching a little bit of a media side where we're going to try to have some shows, kind of build out a show platform, just a little bit of odds and ends to try to bring in some of the technical trading, some of the stuff that I do on a more consistent basis. I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm tapped out on time, and I'm kind of struggling to figure out how to get things done. So definitely that is something in the works. We're opening up a trading floor actually here in Florida where I'll be trading in the trading floor. Traders can come in and trade with me for a week or a month or whatever. So that'll be kind of a great learning environment as well. But yeah, like you said, I mean, there's always opportunities out there, and I love working with you guys as well. I still need to get over to Vegas and join you live at some point as well.
Bro, you come to Vegas, we'll show you a good time. Yeah. And you know, when the Florida thing happens, man, I want to come down there. I want to come spend some time and learn some trading.
Dude, I would love to do that. I would love to have various people like you guys and some other people, and we just do a week where they come in with me and you, and they can kind of hobnob. We can have some good times and trade a little bit. That'd be so cool.
That would be super cool. I'm down. I'm committing to that. When it happens, let us know. We'll make it happen on our end. Gareth,
wonderful.
Thank you so much as always, my friend. Guys, if you want more Gareth Soloway, check out inthemoneystocks.com. The link to that is in the description of this video. And Gareth, have you ever heard of Robin's, before we let you go, have you ever heard Robin's Ola? You've heard his Ola, right?
No, I don't know. Let me hear this.
All right. So here we go. This is the rundown. All right. So we got a few new people in the chat. We got Eddie, Grant, Crypto Red, Perry, Saeed, Ray. We got Beefed Up, Chappie, Juan, Armani. To all of you, hola! Welcome to City Crypto.
Gareth, can we ask you one favor before you leave? Can you give us and our community an hola, and we will let you go?
Hola!
There it is.
My man. Gareth, thank you so much, my friend. We know you're extremely busy and in high demand. We appreciate you joining us as always. Guys, go support the guests that join our show. Go check out inthemoneystocks.com. Gareth, enjoy the rest of your day, my friend, and we look forward to bringing you on again. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Oh, man.
All right. Yeah, I mean, look, here's one thing I'll say, guys. I don't agree with everything people say. You don't agree with everything people say. But just because they have a differing opinion or they're saying something you don't want to hear doesn't mean their opinion should be discounted. You never make decisions based off one person's opinion. Anyways, whether that's us, your mom, your cousin, whoever it may be, always.
What about your dog?
Even your dog as well. Yes. Guys, we have a lot of people in here. We don't have a lot of likes, though, so make sure you hit the like button.
Hold on. Rocco, give me the camera.
Yeah, I give it to you. You want me to dismantle or
Full screen on me right now.
full
Full screen on me right now. Give it a camera. You watching this. Have you hit the like button? Ask yourself that. Don't lie to yourself. Tell the truth. Have you hit the like button? If you hit the like button, put a 1 in the chat. There better be 253 likes in here. Ones, right? Ones. Oh, dang. Yeah. Full screen, baby. Put a 1 in the chat if you hit the like. Yeah, it's me, full screen, baby.
That's not,
you know.
Okay. Let's go back.
What's going on right now?
What's going on here?
Where I am.
You're back.
So yeah, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you've hit the like button. I want to know who's representing up in here. I want to know who's on the Sin City Crypto side.
So we did, real quick, Rob, we did do a poll. We asked Gareth.
go.
He doesn't put too much into this Death Cross, Golden Cross. We did do a poll from the community. And is the weekly Death Cross a big deal? 61% of you said no. And so I kind of tend to agree. I don't think there's one indicator you should look at and say, oh my God, you know, you have the whole stock to flow model that everyone hung their hats on, and that thing's gone so far off the rails that if you were following it, you would have, probably lost a lot of money. All right,
a lot of ones, man. All right, so a lot of ones in here. I don't know. It's definitely not 200 ones. But we'll take it. You know what? Also, a little shout out to the community. I want to rally the troops. You know why?
Why?
Because Sin City Crypto's got a big announcement today.
We do.
Yeah, yeah.
What's our announcement? Okay.
We are branching out. Not going to take away from anything we do already, but we are launching.
We're actually going to amp up Sin City Crypto as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, but a little bit. We're branching out. We're going to do more news coverage, more article coverage, more discussion. But we're going to launch a separate channel and go on more broader subjects. It's going to be more of a tech-driven side of it. It's going to be called Broadcast.
No.
Oh, Bold Broadcasting. Sorry. I haven't, I'm a man with little words.
Yeah.
But do we?
And oversight. If you want it on topics outside of cryptocurrency, make sure to go subscribe to Bold Broadcasting. All right. Let's move on to some other big news. So we know the SEC, we know the Securities and Exchange Commission, we know that they have waged a war against crypto. Well, another domino has fallen and will continue to fall, and that is BUSD, the Paxos issued Binance USD stablecoin. The New York Department of Financial Services, also known as the NYDFS, says Paxos didn't administer Binance USD in, quote, safe and sound manner, according to a report by Reuters. So this is sourced from CoinDesk. This is Adrian Harris, the superintendent of the NYDFS. And so it's interesting. So Paxos is no longer, they've cut off their relationship with Binance when it comes to issuing their stablecoin. No more minting, but don't panic. They have full one-to-one backing, according to them, and redemptions are still live. So eventually, BUSD will dwindle down. It'll dwindle down in market cap. It'll dwindle down in use case until it essentially goes to zero, or unless something changes, regulatory regime changes, whatever the case may be. But here's a reason why they decided to shut them down. So it says Paxos Trust Company's administration of Binance's stablecoin left it open to use by bad actors, said the New York Department of Financial Services. Paxos, quote, violated its obligation to conduct tailored periodic risk assessments and due diligence refreshes of Binance and Paxos's issued BUSD customers to prevent bad actors from using the platform. So, Robin, this is kind of interesting, right? We saw when Gemini Earn went down and when Genesis halted withdrawals, on Gemini's website, it said, we do audits every quarter to make sure that our partners that we partner with and give money to are in, their business is healthy. They can do what they say they're going to do. And so this is what the NYDFS is using.
Countries that was printing dollars, right? And we're back. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, guys, a little choppy there.
What are the countries printing the dollars?
But yeah, so think about it. So I think the scenario is broken, right? You have two different companies essentially printing BUSD, right? And more than two. And so if you had a government, for example, and they were printing multiple, you had multiple governments printing the same currency, it's a conflict of interest, right?
Well, here's the thing: is Paxos was issuing the actual BUSD, right?
Yeah.
And Binance was then taking that and doing Binance pegged stablecoin off of what Paxos was doing. So it's kind of weird. A lot of people are saying USDC is next, Tether is next.
I think here's the thing: if you're gonna issue a token, just issue it yourself. And I understand that other people can do wrap tokens. I understand that other companies can print something on another chain that shares a value. But I would like to see in our space if Binance issues its own BNB token, and that's kind of where we end, right? And like you can look at Tether, for example. Tether has lots of different coins on different networks. They're on the Tron network. They're on the Ethereum network, and the list goes on. And that might not be the best way of going about it. And maybe we just need to have one stable coin on one main network. I don't know. I haven't really gave it enough thought to think about what that landscape should look like, but definitely we're still early. Remember, it was only in 2018 that Circle launched. What was it, 2018 or 2017? I think one or the other. I think it was 2018. Circle launched. Nobody really used it until 2019. And so we're in the infancy of the stablecoin. And so we're still trying to figure it out. Regulators are going to overreact around at each corner. So,
yeah. All right. Quick shout out before I show CZ what CZ said.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy, another 10 memberships.
10 memberships. So
the dude is up to one a day for a whole year. 365 gifted memberships. Jimmy, the official hype man of Sin City Crypto. All right, so CZ had something to say about this news of Paxos no longer issuing BUSD. So this is from CZ's Twitter, BUSD a thread. So let me zoom in on this for you, my friends. So in summary, BUSD is issued and redeemed by Paxos and funds are Seifu. I hate that word, Seifu. So dumb. We were informed by Paxos they have been directed to cease minting new BUSD by the NYDFS. Paxos is regulated by said agency. BUSD is a stable coin wholly owned and managed by Paxos. As a result, the BUSD market cap will only decrease over time. Paxos will continue to service the product and manage redemptions. Paxos also assured us the funds are Seifu and fully covered by reserves in their banks, with their reserves audited many times by various audit firms already. On the alleged SEC versus Paxos lawsuit, I have no information about it other than the public news articles. The lawsuit is between the SEC and Paxos. And so this was interesting. This is from Miles Deutscher from, I believe he's part of the Crypto Banter Group. Said the SEC has labeled BUSD as an unregistered security. How the fuck is it an unregistered security? How does that fit into the Howey test? Part of the Howey test is an expectation of profit. Who is investing in stable coins expecting to make money? Hey, let me buy $1,000 of USDC and then I'll flip it for $1,000 of USDC in 6 months. Like, this is just getting ridiculous, man. I don't understand what the deal is. They're saying, and you know what? I'm just going to show this now. I was going to save this for when I was talking about Brian Armstrong and what they said about staking. But all you hear is Gary Gensler, come in and talk to us. Come in. We're here for you. The regulations are set. That's complete BS. I'm in Washington, D.C. and had a meeting canceled. We'll be at the Dirksen Senate Office Building snack bar for the next hour or so. If anyone wants to come chat about crypto and how we can get legislation and regulatory clarity. So when you say, come in, register, the forms are online. That is complete bullshit. That is complete bullshit. They do not want to fairly regulate crypto. They want power and control over it. And they're taking the steps to do so by cutting off the on and off ramps for crypto exchanges, essentially giving these banks an ultimatum, right? Saying, hey, it's too risky. You shouldn't do it. Not telling them, but pretty much saying if you do it, you're going to be shunned and there's going to be stuff to come down the pipeline. On top of that, you have this whole stablecoin thing. You have Elizabeth Warren sending questions and answers to the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission before a hearing. Like, come on, man. This is a fight against, they are trying to bring crypto down. They are trying to regulate it to death, regulate it out of relevancy. And we cannot let it happen. And so it's very frustrating, but BUSD is a security, unregistered securities. That is such complete horseshit, man. Yeah, that's my little rant there. Do you think they're going to be going after other stable coins like Circle, like Tether, like the other ones? Robin?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that Brian Armstrong, it's obvious that he's fighting a battle right now, right? And the battle is with the SEC. And I'm telling you, they're right now behind closed doors preparing for a lawsuit. And you can look at the string of string of tweets from Coinbase and from Brian Armstrong, and everything points to that. And it's becoming more front and center with each passing tweet. We see that the SEC was going after Kraken, and at the same time, all of this is none of this was public knowledge, but yet Coinbase knew about it. And Coinbase is coming out and saying, hey, we're going to fight the SEC. And so lawsuit is brewing. And so when it comes to stable coins, when it comes to exchanges, they're in the crosshairs. And so I think that everybody in that sector is in the crosshairs, and everybody is at a potential to get sued, investigated, or whatever it is. And it's just going to be very interesting to see how this is going to shape up, man. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know, man. I think we're in for a rude awakening when it comes to the crypto sector in the next couple of months. When it comes from the SEC, I think they got some plans, and people want answers, man. And it ain't the crypto people. It's the people that have no exposure to crypto that are trying to speak for people in crypto, right? They're like, well, this is the FTX thing it's terrible. We need to fix it. You have no exposure to this. The people that say they want action and change are not from the crypto community. The people that want change are people that have no exposure. They don't understand crypto. They don't understand Bitcoin. It's that person that you talk to at work that every time you mention crypto or Bitcoin, they laugh at you. That's the people that are trying to change things. And it pisses me off, man. And I know where we're going. You know, I see the roadmap. There's a lot of construction in the area, but I know where we're going. And we might be running into a traffic jam, it might be taillights, whatever it is. The speed limit is reduced. There's cops over here giving tickets. But I know where we're going. And crypto's going places, man. And we're on the right freaking path, dude. But I'm going to just say this. These next few months, SEC, it's about to get ugly. There's some potholes ahead. You're going through a speed trap. There's cops everywhere. And, Crypto Mike says bold broadcasting didn't come up.
Yeah, because we haven't uploaded a video. So just click the link in the description of this live show you're watching, and it'll take you to the page. What's interesting to me, okay, is it practical to think that governments across the world can come together and regulate crypto? Russia, China, the US, North Korea.
That's the thing. It doesn't need to be regulated.
No, but I'm saying, do you think that's possible?
They're going to
that they all come together and agree.
No. Well, countries will regulate the centralized parts. So your exchanges.
Do you think they can all come together and agree on one regulatory?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what the Bank of India wants to do.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Exactly. And so this is why crypto is unstoppable, guys. We can't even get Americans to agree. You think we're going to get India to agree with Russia, to agree with China, to agree with the US, and to agree? No. India discusses global crypto regulation. And it's interesting what the guy says here. This is sourced from cryptodaily.uk. Nirmala Sitharaman, the Prime Minister of Finance of India, said at a post-budget meeting with the Reserve Bank of India that the Indian government is discussing a unified global approach to regulating crypto with fellow G20 members. Now, if you remember, India has been on the forefront of banning crypto. They want to ban the entire space. And they said one country alone cannot do anything. Yeah, that's the point. That is the point, is crypto should not be under the control of any government. All right? That's why we are discussing with every country whether we could frame a standard operating procedure that we can all adopt and create a regulatory framework. During a session with Parliament last year, the ministers said the bank sought a total ban on crypto, but said that international collaboration was needed to make that possible. And that is not happening. I would willing to bet my life that there is no way in hell that every country comes together and decides to ban crypto. You know why? Because if that does happen, and let's say 90% of countries agree, you're going to have those 10% of countries that are like, all right, this is an advantage. This is a way for us to get a step up on all these other countries. So it'll never happen. It'll never happen. Going back to it, says cryptocurrencies are by definition borderless and require international collaboration to prevent regulatory arbitrage. Therefore, any legislation for regulation or for banning can be effective only after significant international collaboration on evaluation of the risks and benefits and the evolution of common taxonomy and standards. So guys, if you worry crypto's being banned, it's not going to be banned. A country might ban it. They might try to ban it. But let me tell you guys something. 3 letters. V, P, N. And if we DCA into crypto and Bitcoin and some altcoins, and by the time this thing takes off, if we have to, if you're living in a country that there's no on and off ramps, that it banned crypto, guess what? We'll take our little ledgers, or our hardware wallets, and we'll pack up our bags and we'll just move somewhere else. So
I ain't moving nowhere, bro. Get that.
I'm saying we're
stupid ass.
My brain always does.
City crypto, baby. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
We might be El Salvadorian.
SEC gonna have to evict me, bro. So a little shout out to the chat here. We got some new people. If you are new, say hello so that way we can drop an hola right back at you. We got Nicholas G, Steve T, Ara, Toto. We got Leo Nwodo. Man, y'all got some crazy names up here. Hard to pronounce. Yeah, Crypto Locks. Constantinovius. We got Mike Rocks, Chris Howard, Generic Josh, Long Time, Crystal Seth, Remington, Rod, Aristides, Travel the World, Hassan, and Strong Like Wood. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If you are new here, say hello. I want to say what's up to everybody up in here.
That's right. So we talk about ripple effects.
Ripple Labs?
Ripple Labs. By the way, if you're a fan of Ripple Labs, you're a fan of XRP, put a 1 in the chat. Make sure to go watch our video we put out last week.
Can we get to 300 viewers?
We're going to.
Can we get to 300 viewers?
You know how we get to 300
We're going to open
viewers?
up the club, we get to 300 viewers.
325.
No, it's 300.
Okay.
275 was last time.
Whatever.
So you got an extra iPad, pop that thing open. Let's go. Let's get there.
So back to me here. Robin. So we talk about
What was that?
downstream effects, right? And when one decision is made, when the OCC issues a statement to banks saying dealing with cryptocurrencies are highly risky, and leave it at that, and banks all of a sudden, Signature Bank says no, Silvergate says no, other banks are moving away from fiat on and off ramps. Now you have this whole thing with BUSD and Paxos being sued, and how that creates ripple effects and hurts innovation in our space in our country. Here's a prime example. PayPal they've been working on a stable coin for a long time, and now they've ditched it. It's gone. And it has to do with the Paxos and NYDFS. PayPal has halted its work on a stablecoin due to partner Paxos being investigated by the New York Department of Financial Services. The payment provider was expected to release the stablecoin in the near future, but now has canceled its plans. He adds that any U.S. financial company that interacts with blockchain is viewed as too risky. They are literally cornering our industry.
I will say, okay, I'm not in favor of this at all, but I will say the last thing we need is another stablecoin. I think the markets are saturated. I understand the point, and not at all. Obviously, you have the SEC, you got all kinds of different branches imposing their will on crypto. It's not good, but I will just say I wasn't looking forward to a PayPal stablecoin. I think it's unnecessary. It clouds the waters. It makes things a little bit, when you have too many networks running too many different stable coins. Just imagine if you went to a foreign country that didn't take dollars, okay? And yet they had 10 different stores. You went to 10 different stores and each store took a different currency. It would be extremely complicated, right? It would be confusing and inefficient. Am I right? You want to see, you went on vacation. Let's just say you went to an island country and you were there and you're trying to transact, and each business you go to takes a different currency. All I'm saying is that there's enough stable coins, bro. It's enough. It's enough. Nah, we don't need a PayPal stable coin and a Facebook stable coin and a
Zelle.
Zelle stable coin, and then a Bank of America stable coin.
One more.
Robin stable coin.
Yeah. Sin City Crypto stable coin.
Wow, SCCC as USD. All right. I want to talk about Brazil. Will you say something in Portuguese for us?
Que queres que diz?
Huh? So,
Pode falar português.
Português,
Mas o meu português é de Portugal.
Okay, all right, that's it.
Não é do Brasil.
That's enough.
That's enough.
So here's a country.
Ask for it.
Here's a country that understands, hey, we can use crypto to our advantage. We can make money off it by taxing it. If I make $1 million in profit because I'm trading crypto, I'm okay with handing over $200K for taxes versus trying to find other ways and hiding this. And oh my God, if I do this and that, right? You're paying taxes. That means you're making money, right? So Brazil, the Bank of Brazil now allows citizens to pay taxes with crypto. Bank of Brazil has announced that citizens can now pay their taxes with cryptocurrency. Through this collaboration, Brazilians holding cryptocurrencies with BitFi can now easily pay their taxes, fees, and governmental obligations using their assets. The mechanism behind this service is similar to customers paying for a ticket, capturing a barcode. The introduction of this technology only stamps the Bank of Brazil's position as a leading force in modern financial solutions. In addition to providing a convenient and easily accessible tax payment method to citizens, the successful adoption of this initiative could possibly transform the banking landscape. I thought the US was a leader in financial innovation.
Nope.
But I do have some good news. President Lula da Silva, who is the president of Brazil, met with President Biden, and they went on a long walk and they had a picnic. And so this is what that looked like. And
is this going to be a joke?
United States
No, this is
Brazil,
true.
Democracy prevail. Thank you, Mr. President, for your commitment to advancing our partnership. This is an important moment for both our countries, in my view, and for the world, quite frankly.
I'm hoping that along one of these walks, the Brazilian president said, what are you guys doing with crypto? Why the hell are you guys not seeing how this could serve the people, this can serve your government? And so I'm hoping that at least the Brazilian president said something positive to Joe Biden. Maybe change his mind.
Yeah. I feel like the conversations at some point is going to shift. Like, are you awake? I'm like,
I think
are you napping?
The president's Oh, man. All right, guys, we are done. We're done for today. Big shout out to Gareth for joining us. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and put your notification bell on. Also, go follow us on social media. Twitter's popping off at Sin City Crypto 1. Go join our Discord.
And Bold Broadcasting.
Bold Broadcasting.
Our first video go up tomorrow.
Yes, we'll have our first video tomorrow. If you missed it, we are launching a separate channel outside of the crypto space. We'll be covering the hottest topic of news, giving our commentary and our opinion. So if you want more David and Robin outside of crypto, make sure to go subscribe. We have, I think, like 9 subscribers. So help us get there. Yeah, 9.
With
And,
no videos.
You will not find Bold Broadcasting if you search it on YouTube. So you're gonna have to use the link in the description of this video. Also, go check out the merch store. Also, go check out a lot of things. With that being said, Rocco! Friends, family, friends, and family of friends, we thank you guys so much for starting your week off with us here at Sin City Crypto. Big shout out to Gareth Soloway. Come join us tomorrow. We have Crypto Blood and Magic Internet Money. CPI numbers come out. There's going to be volatility. You do not want to miss the show. On behalf of myself, Robin, Rocco, love you guys. Until tomorrow.
And also, Ogali, we got Manuel Campos. He said, falas bem. Sim, fala muito bem. Muito obrigado.
What? I was going to say something, but I decided not to.
Yeah.